Now, William Goldman, the famous writer, in his last book says that none of us directors have any vision. That's what he says. We have no vision, zero vision.
I know that in your case that's not true. I know that in Bob Zemeckis' case that's not true.
That's what he says.
Now, I don't know. I don't know. Why does he say that though?
I don't know.
Does he say it because he's written? Has he said he's written scripts that the director did a different version of his vision?
No, he just says we have no vision. None of us. None.
Today. Today,
Uh-huh.
as opposed to yesterday.
Uh-huh. We have no vision. We have no vision. It's all the screenplay.
I think that it's fair to say that it's been in my experience that in years, just recent years, I've worked with directors who it was difficult for them to have a vision.
Yeah, I've been hearing that in the business a lot. They don't see it. They don't know what they want.
They see something. They see a shot. They see a color. They see a. It's more. I do think we're in. That's actually a good point. Right here, right now, you're watching in your mind, you were seeing him, and you saw him in that slow. You saw him. You only shot him that way. I think that now there are lots of directors. Some of them have been successful. More of them are not going to be, and have not been. That just see something, shoot it because it looks good, and then it's a succession of good-looking images.
Okay.
That aren't telling any story, really. They're not making me feel anything.
Interesting.
And that's maybe what I would assume that's what William Goldman maybe is saying.
Was this a recent development for you? Do you see this in recent years?
Yeah. Huh. More now than
before in the old days?
Yeah. Now in the old days too, I mean, there were really guys that were traffic cops. You know, I mean, they knew how to shoot an entrance and an exit and get everybody in focus. But there are directors that have vision. They do have vision. I mean, I've said this many times in interviews. I can watch 20 seconds of a movie of yours, and I can say, I don't know what the movie is, but I can tell you it's a John Carpenter movie.
Yeah.
I know it. I mean, I can just see that. I can watch. Well,
Zemeckis surely has.
Zemeckis. I can watch the Zemeckis movie for a problem. I need more than that because Zemeckis has shot movies that in some ways, but I can still say that about Starman, for instance. I'd say, I can see Starman and say, even if I didn't know it was your movie, and I'd say, oh, that's John. It's a little more difficult with Bob, but I can watch some shots in Forrest Gump.
That
or I can watch some shots in Castaway and say, that's Bob Zemeckis' movie. That's also true for other men, other directors,
But nowadays, there's a whole different style going on, and I think it's been influenced by commercials and MTV, and a whole lot of very fast.
I mean, listen, you did stuff that influenced them, as we know, to shoot certainly on MTV. I mean, there were some big video. This very set, I know, was used, and the look of the way the set was shot was used a lot. Not just a little, not a couple, but a lot.
But my style, is much different than it's old-fashioned.
Well,
it's much more old-fashioned than.
Yeah, but see, your style. I think what was interesting was like I watched a movie like The Fog. Your style then was old-fashioned too.
Because you never changed.
I never changed. All about telling story.
Yeah, well, that's.
And I mean, I think that's why I like doing movies with you because I like stories.
But that
really
was beaten
do like
into my head the same way you were trained. Okay. About craft in your time at Disney. Well, it was beaten into my head from my college.
Well, that was for me. That was the Walt Disney deal. Was that he believed in telling a story. Now, I think the great thing is when you get the combination of great visualists with storytelling.
With storytelling,
that's cool. That's to me. That's I mean, that's gonna.
It's always going to win, isn't it?
It's going to win.
Yeah.
Whereas I really would rather see. It's hard to say. I mean, I could pick and criticize and stuff, but I like some movies as much as the next guy that doesn't really tell a lot of story and make me feel a lot, but it's visually fantastic.
It's fun to watch.
It's okay. I'm okay with that. And I'm okay also with a really good story that's told very flatly. I'm okay with that too. But to me, if you've got a combination of
the two?
Just some combination of the two. It doesn't have to be greatly shot. It just tells the story. It just has a way of telling the story. And I mean, I'd be interested in what you're in that world. You're in that world with these guys. With what's going on now?
Well, the world certainly has changed. As you get older, you were talking about coming up to 50. I mean, I've just turned 53, and I've been directing for features
Since
for
you were
about 30 years.
Professionally, but you were also making movies when you were 8 years old.
When I was young.
I mean, you were making full on.
But real features, I mean, real feature movies for about 31 years. And it's certain everything has changed about the business, but the essentials of storytelling have never changed.
No.
I mean, if you know the rules, then you can break them and invert them. You can do all sorts of great stuff.
Right.
You can but you have to know the rules of it.
Yeah.
Or at least some basics of it. And it's much like anybody's craft. You kind of have some basics that you got to cover.